catch no fame because I'm worth too many M's, you dig? Hey, what's going on, man?
I finished early. I might as well start early.
Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood.
I finished early.
You ain't never got put on.
Sergeant Moe, the nigga press secretary in the
Niggas
house.
always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Oh, I live in the hood, ass nigga. Never got put on, always claiming the hood though. Oh, you fucking with the homegirl, but don't come to the hood with none of your damn homeboys. They don't get a pass. How the little homies press they ass for your tattoos. How your mama waking up to some bad news. The plug saying groove on the down boys. Long and Ray, skinny nigga with the braids. Took a 2-man fade. I'm really from the hood. I took a fucking break to get my money right. But I was banging on the plane in the meeting with Jermaine. They like, poet, oh you bang? They forgot where I came from. I was gang banging when it wasn't fun. Homie doing life right now cause we don't play from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. And that goes for these hoes too. Start fucking on niggas and throwing these niggas hood up. Ha, little dot. Heard you gave a homie head in the trap spot. Got a throwaway in the stash spot. Boy, you not real, like a Sasquatch. Boy, I'm so high, I'm seeing astronauts. Boy, I ball hard, I need a mascot. Oh, and Swahili, I'm a Damu. My little cousin making Paru. My nigga Uzi, he from Five Deuce. Pad blows, I be hanging with some real whoops. Gang signs out the window when we drive coupes. Making money with some crips like it's 92. Banging on tracks. Back in my days, it was banging on. You ain't from the hood. Nah, you ain't get put on, you ain't from the hood. So, you ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood. Niggas always claim to say blood ain't from the hood. Hell nah. You ain't never got put on, you ain't from the hood.
What's up in the chat?
Nigga, pull up in the hood right now, nigga, catch your fade, nigga.
Time!
Frogs. You ain't from the hood.
I ought to get a time in right now. I ought to get a time in right now. Look, let me get a time in right now, right quick. I ain't done the time in a minute. Let me get a time in. Where we at? Where my Dropbox at? Let me get a time in right quick. I ain't done a time in a long time. Let me get a time in. Let me get a time in.
I asked you a question, Tom.
I asked you a question.
Tom.
Tom, what's up, Tom? What's up with you? Glad you can join me on this Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? You could have been anywhere in the motherfucking universe, but you're here with your boy on a Saturday Night Live. A Saturday night. I think I'm finna fucking cry, right? But I have a very interesting show for you today. I got all the reasons Joe Biden said he ran for president. He said he ran for a lot of different things. So I put all the reasons Joe Biden said he ran for president, and I put some evidence to show why he said he ran for president. So I don't know how many times he said he ran for president, how many different things he said he ran for president for, but I got them all. Every time this nigga said he ran for president and what he was running for, I got him. Right? So we finna kick this off, right? Joe Biden on why he ran for presidency, right? All the reasons why he ran for presidency. Reason number 1 and number 2. Oops, I got it unmuted first. Reason number 1 and number 2. Hold on, we go. Then you gotta unmute it. It's unmuted. Okay, we unmuted. Unmuted. Boom, we unmuted. Okay, boom. Damn, that was difficult. Come on, play now. Okay, now we cooking with grease, y'all. Now we cooking with grease. Number 1 and 2 on why Joe Biden ran for president.
Involved in politics for 2 reasons, only 2. At the front end of my career.
Only 2 reasons Joe Biden said he ran for president. Only 2 reasons at the front end of his career.
Civil rights and the environment.
Civil rights and the environment. Right? That's the 2 reasons, right? Civil rights and the environment. I don't know what the fuck was going on with the environment in the 60s or the 70s whenever Joe Biden was running for president, but we're going to leave it up to Joe Biden on what he said he ran for president for. He said the environment and civil rights. So we're going to first go with the environment, right?
Watch now. President Biden is making the environment a key focus of his administration. The president is directing federal agencies to renew all of the existing regulations on the issue after the previous administration rolled back about 100 environmental rules.
Woo, Donald Trump wrote a gang of rules back for environment, but we had the cleanest air and the cleanest water. We didn't need all that shit. Joe Biden and Barack Obama put in regulations to stop a lot of companies and stuff like that from being productive and shit like that. Oh, you got to have this. You got to have that. Oh, you must make sure this is on that. You make sure. It was too many regulations, right? Joe Biden then put the regulations back on the business, right? Talking about, oh, we doing it for the environment. Oil, fossil fuel. Most of the environmental contracts he was canceling was for oil. That was the environmental shit he was doing. Canceling all the pipelines, all the fracking, all the drilling, he put all the regulations on the oil companies. That was his environmental shit. And don't forget about NAFTA or whatever.
My solemn duty to protect America.
Oh, wait a minute. My solemn duty is to give out a shout out to Christine Fortune. Sorry, Black Putin price hike. Can't only afford $5, but love you do almost. Look. Hey, it's almost a gallon, damn it, Christine. It's almost a gallon. That'll do. Shit, we get another 5. You got 1.5 gallons up in this bitch. Putin price hike is effective, Christine. Damn it. We gotta end, Christine. We gotta do something about Putin price hike. Good looking out, Christine. But remember, Donald Trump said, my solemn duty is to look out for Americans first. Fuck all them other countries. It's America first on mine.
And its citizens. The United States will withdraw.
Wait, did you? And people and Democrats got it messed up. Remember, Donald Trump is a deal maker. He said, I will withdraw. We are going to withdraw. But then he said, look, we'll come back if you make some deals that's favorable to the United States only. That's how we come back. We ain't saying we going forever, but you got to make us some deals. Donald Trump was a deal maker. Joe Biden took the deals off the table and joined back in the Paris Accord. That's what I meant, the Paris Accord. He took the deals off the table, all the regulations, all the shit Donald Trump wanted to have before he jumped back in the Paris Accord. Joe Biden said, fuck it, first day, I'm jumping back in the Paris Accord.
From the Paris Climate Accord.
Mr. Biden is also directing the U.S. to rejoin the Paris Agreement and revoking the permit for the controversial Keystone XL pipeline.
All the regulations that cost America, all the regulations that Donald Trump put in, Joe Biden took out. And you wonder why we having inflation, Christine.
But begin negotiations to re-enter either the Paris Accord or in really entirely new transaction.
We're going to enter something, right? We're going to withdraw, but we're willing to come back if we get that deal.
On terms that are fair to the United States, its businesses, its workers, its people, its taxpayers. So we're getting out.
What will rejoining the agreement mean for the U.S. going forward? And I'm also curious, what impact it has on the agreement and the others that are involved in the agreement, and maybe countries not involved, to have the U.S. get back into the game.
But we will start to negotiate, and we will see if we can make a deal that's fair. And if we can, that's great. And if we can't, that's fine.
We're going to make a deal that favors the United States. If we can't, good. We can't, fuck it.
Just like we need to be a unified nation in response to COVID-19, we need a unified national response to climate change.
As president, I can put no other consideration before the well-being of American citizens.
Huh?
We need to meet the moment with the urgency it demands.
Biden has promised to put the country on a track to net zero emissions by 2050, in line with most developed nations.
Regulations that Joe Biden cut off the first day. Regulation. He said he ran for the environment. Okay, well, Joe Biden ain't lying. He ran for the environment, all right? He ain't lying.
The Paris Climate Accord is simply the latest example of Washington entering into an agreement that disadvantages the United States.
Entered by Barack Obama, re-entered by Joe Biden.
To the exclusive benefit of other countries, leaving American workers, who I love, and taxpayers to absorb the cost in terms of lost jobs, lower wages, shuttered factories, and vastly diminished economic production.
Voting rights.
Well, okay. Then here go number 3, right? Joe Biden said he ran on. Climate change, right? Which we're going to get into. Climate change will be already covered. And we're going to cover civil rights later on. But right now, he's saying he got into it for voter rights. This is number 3. Joe Biden said he got into it, the election and the presidency race and all this shit and government for voter rights.
Rights. Voting rights. Voting rights. That's how I got involved in politics.
So Joe Biden is fighting for voter rights, right? Remember, he had this speech in Atlanta talking about, right, the Republicans is trying to deprive you the right to vote, and they putting in laws and stuff like that to stop you from voting and stuff like that. This is in Georgia. Remember, he had this speech in Georgia. Georgia. But watch what happened in Georgia.
Look, it's also time to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act.
In Georgia.
I've been having these quiet conversations with members of Congress for the last 2 months. I'm tired of being quiet.
We're keeping a close eye on Georgia as the primaries play out there. Tomorrow's election day. Georgia broke a record for early voting ahead of tomorrow's deadline to cast in-person ballot.
Folks, it'll restore the strength of the Voting Rights Act of '65, the one President Johnson signed after John Lewis was beaten, nearly killed on Bloody Sunday, only to have the Supreme Court weaken it multiple times.
They weakened it multiple times, but they just broke a record in Georgia, the same place you preaching at about voting rights. They just broke a record for voting.
Over the past decade.
Thank you. The Georgia Secretary of State's office is calling the early voting turnout for the primary incredible.
Restoring the Voting Rights Act would mean that Justice Department can stop discriminatory laws before they go into effect.
The final numbers showing more than 850,000 voters in the Peach State have already cast a ballot for Tuesday's primary. That includes more than 147,000 new voters reported since yesterday.
But as an institutionalist, I believe that the threat to our democracy is so grave that we must find a way to pass these voting rights bills.
They just broke a record for voting. And he's still up here talking about passing a voting rights bill. What more bills do you got to pass? They just broke a record for voting.
State's data during the early voting period showed record turnout just about every day. One reason may be that the state standardized early voting across the state in every county with a new election law.
Didn't the Republicans do that law? That wasn't the Democrats. That's the same law the Republicans, the Democrats are talking about the same law they took the baseball game out of Georgia for and put it in Colorado. This is the same law they talking about. Turned out early voting a record. Wow.
Requiring smaller counties to provide Sunday early voting and for some counties longer early voting hours. And those things weren't required before.
We have no option but to change the Senate rules, including getting rid of the filibuster for this.
Joe Biden want to get rid of the filibuster, but they just broke a record for voting. What do you need? What more do you need, Joe? Huh?
Will you stand against voter suppression? Yes or no? That's the question they'll answer.
I make sure to take advantage of early voting if I can. They do it on the way to carpool pickup, which is what I'm doing.
I normally early vote because I don't like lines, and I feel like I just want to go in, get it out the way, and go on about my day.
Do you want to be on the side of Dr. King or George Wallace? Do you want to be on the side of John Lewis or Bull Connor? Do you want to be on the side of Abraham Lincoln or Jefferson Davis?
Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger's office says as of last night, more than 565,000 people have cast their ballots. That's a 153% increase from the same point in the early voting period in the 2018 primary election, and it's a 189% increase from the 2020 primary election.
They broke a record twice, but he's still talking about, oh, they suppressing the vote. The Republicans are suppressing the vote. We need to pass the John Lewis Act. For what?
This is the moment to decide.
Right? What else? That was number 3. What else Joe Biden ran for? What else Joe Biden running for? You might ask.
We ended that damn war.
Huh? The war. He said the Vietnam War. That damn war. I entered the politics for that damn war. So this is number 4, right? The Vietnam War. Well, you had a repeat of the Vietnam War just recently, didn't you, Joe Biden?
That's why I ran the Vietnam War.
Back in July, you said a Taliban takeover was highly unlikely. Was the intelligence wrong, or did you downplay it?
I think there was no consensus. If you go back and look at the intelligence reports.
This community has assessed that the Afghan government will likely collapse.
That is not true.
That's not true? It's not true, Joe Biden? That is not true. Okay.
Senator, again, I won't share my personal recommendation to the president, but I will give you my honest opinion, and my honest opinion and view shaped my recommendation. I recommended that we maintain 2,500 troops in Afghanistan, and I also recommended earlier in the fall of 2020 that we maintain 4,500 at that time.
Where these niggas at now? They ain't nowhere to be found. They said Joe Biden lied. Now these niggas ain't nowhere to be found.
Those are my personal views.
And do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam with some people feeling...
None whatsoever. Zero. What you had entire brigades breaking through the gates of our embassy. 6, if I'm not mistaken. The Taliban is not the North Vietnamese army. They said that it was more likely to be sometime by the end of the year.
You didn't put a timeline on when you said it was highly unlikely. You just said flat out it's highly unlikely the Taliban would take over.
Yeah.
I also have a view that the withdrawal of those forces would lead inevitably to the collapse of the Afghan military forces and eventually the Afghan government.
Huh? Joe Biden up here lying. And the general was like, well, I didn't tell Joe Biden no shit like that. Joe Biden lying.
Well, the question was whether or not the idea that the Taliban would take over was premised on the notion that somehow the 300,000 troops we had trained and equipped was going to just collapse. They were going to give up. I don't think anybody anticipated that.
What I said in my opening statement and the memoranda that I wrote back in the fall of 2020 remained consistent, and I do agree with that.
Can you please
They both agree with each other, Joe Biden. You lying.
clarify what they have told you about whether that will happen or not?
That is not true. They did not reach that conclusion.
So what is the level of confidence that they have that it will not collapse?
Did you talk to the president about General Miller's recommendation?
Sir, I was present when that discussion occurred.
The Afghan government and leadership has to come together. They clearly have the capacity to sustain the government in place.
Mm-hmm. And I'm confident that the president heard all the recommendations and listened to them very thoughtfully.
But he didn't follow none of them. I'm sure he listened to all the recommendations, but he didn't listen to none of them. He didn't follow none of them.
We've all seen the pictures. We've seen those hundreds of people packed into a C-17. We've seen Afghans falling.
That was 4 days ago, 5 days ago.
And do you see any parallels between this withdrawal and what happened in Vietnam with some people feeling...
None whatsoever.
None whatsoever?
With communist forces only a few miles from the center of Saigon, the order to evacuate American nationals is given.
Same thing happened in Afghanistan.
Americans and citizens of third countries who have been guaranteed space on the airlift gather at assembly points for the bus ride to Tan Son Nhut Airport.
Same thing happened in Afghanistan.
For the frightened civilians, the first few hundred feet were the most dangerous. After that, they were out of range of rifle and pistol fire.
Same thing happened in Afghanistan.
The hardest part was the waiting. Many people said it was unnerving to be waiting for a ride to safety and to be hearing fighting all around you.
Huh? Same thing happened in Afghanistan.
There was always the fear that the fighting would end the helicopter.
Zero. What you had is you had entire brigades breaking through the gates.
So you don't think this could have been handled, this actually could have been handled better in any way? No mistakes?
No, I don't think it could have been handled in a way that we're going to go back in hindsight and look, but the idea that somehow there's a way to have gotten out without chaos ensuing, I don't know how that happens.
Woo! Afghanistan, Vietnam, Joe Biden. Huh? It was like a damn repeat. It was like a remix. It was like a Puff Daddy remake. Huh? Of the same movie.
I don't know how that happened.
So for you, that was always priced into the decision?
Yes.
Woo! It was always in the decisions for Americans to die. Huh? It was always in the decision. Next.
They're not remotely comparable in terms of capability. There's going to be no circumstance where you see people being lifted off the roof of a embassy of the United States from Afghanistan. It is not at all comparable.
Okay. Well,
that's what got me involved in.
Well, that was number 5 or 6. I forgot what it was, right? But now he got something else, right? He got redlining. Joe Biden got into politics because of redlining, right? He done all kind of, now he's in the redlining.
In politics in the first place, thing called redlining.
Streets that run through American cities that have served as dividing lines between communities for generations. On one side of the line, a predominantly white neighborhood. On the other side, a predominantly black neighborhood. If you live on one side of that line, your family is 10 times as wealthy than if you lived on the other side of that line. On one side, your home is valued at tens of thousands of dollars more than if you live on the other side of that line.
Well, get enough money so your ass can move across the freeway, you know what I'm saying? Or it's gonna be a motherfucker gonna go broke and move their ass on the other side. They're gonna switch neighbors one way or the other.
A big part of what has kept black Americans from having the same opportunities as white Americans have been those red lines. And sadly, they aren't gone yet.
I got involved in politics because of the poor and the disadvantaged.
He got in politics. That was another one. My bad. Redlining. And he got into politics because of the poor and disadvantaged, right? So now we finna talk about the poor and disadvantaged. He done talk about the red line. You know, and the red line got something to do with the poor and disadvantaged. So Joe Biden got in politics for the poor and disadvantaged.
Joe Biden is clarifying his Thursday comments when he seemed to suggest the black community lacks diversity of thought.
What you all know, but most people don't know, unlike the African American community, with notable exceptions, the Latino community is an incredibly diverse community.
I guess this is the disadvantage he's talking about, the disadvantaged black people.
With incredibly different attitudes about different things.
We're focusing, as a former ambassador said, that we're focusing on the needs, particularly of the most left behind community.
The most left behind community. We focusing on the most left behind community.
The African American community.
That was racist as a son of a bitch. But I guess he's in politics for the disadvantaged, the African American community.
I got involved to try to stop the construction of that highway.
Oh, he got involved in politics to stop the construction of a highway now, right? A highway.
Which I did. That's what got me involved.
You give us the construct of how you will deconstruct the racism that was built into the roadways.
We're seeing our tax dollars, the billions of dollars allotted for the infrastructure law, start to go to work now. One of the biggest investments in America's roads in decades, right? But some of that money is going to fix the unjust way the original interstate highway system was built back in the 50s.
Remember, redlining, right? You got highways with the infrastructure money. It's going to tear down racist highways and build more racist, unracist highways and build the communities so the communities or the black and white won't be divided as much and stuff like that. They're going to try to knock out redlining and make public housing and stuff like that on the other side where people from the poor side can move to the rich side and go to the schools and shit like that. They're trying to cancel out redlining. Something Donald Trump warned you about. Goodbye, suburbs.
Often, and sometimes purposefully, barreling right through black neighborhoods.
I'm still surprised that some people were surprised when I pointed to the fact that if a highway was built for the purpose of dividing a white and a black neighborhood, or if an underpass was constructed such that a bus carrying mostly black and Puerto Rican kids to a beach or
right, is that they want to make the highway higher because they say the buses don't go under the bridge. The buses from the ghetto don't go under the bridge and go to the white neighborhood to go to the beach and stuff like that. So the people in the ghetto can't go, right? So they got to raise the bridge so the buses can get, right? Because black people and Mexicans are taller than white people, right? That's what they say, right? So they got to end the racial equality and make the bridges higher so the buses can pass through.
It would have been in New York was designed too low for it to pass by. I don't think we...
What up, Blazer 101? My bad for not mentioning. You can look it on the donation, Blazer 101. Do you hear this racist ass shit? The bridges is racist.
Do you have anything to lose by confronting that simple reality?
I got involved in politics to begin with because of civil rights and opposition to white supremacists, the Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, white supremacists and the Ku Klux Klan, right? He got into it for civil rights and the Ku Klux Klan. There's another thing Joe Biden got into politics for.
And stop his abuse of power. We have a president who traffics in the ugliest forces in our nation's history, in both clear language and code.
He ain't got nobody black back there. Donald Trump got a gang of niggas in his background. Niggas with perms, with, blacks for Trump shirt. He got Mexicans, he got Asian, he got all kind of, Joe Biden got a gang of white corn-fed people back there.
President Trump has fanned the flames of white supremacy in this nation.
He ain't got nobody black. He put it to a gang of white people talking about some white supremacy. He flaming the flames of white supremacy in front of a gang of white people. Look at this shit.
When Charlottesville occurred, and there were decent people standing there saying, we will not go along with this hate. And he was asked when a young woman was killed, he was asked to characterize what happened. He said, quote, there were fine people on both sides. And
it was. This nigga's in Des Moines, Iowa, talking about racism. How many niggas you think is in that crowd give a fuck about racism, or racism is affecting them?
No president, and more than a boo, it's serious, no president has ever said anything like that.
So they're back there laughing and shit.
Save the possibility of before the Civil War. Ladies and gentlemen, in doing so, he has signed a moral equivalence between those neo-Nazis, the Ku Klux Klan, white supremacists, preaching hate and white supremacy, and those who are opposing it.
You don't know what the fuck he's saying.
At that time, I said we're in a battle for the soul of America, and we are in the battle for a soul of America.
And in front of a lot of white people, ain't no nigga in the crowd. You talking about a battle for the soul of America. They don't give a fuck about no soul in America.
That's what's at stake.
And it's all about family.
Okay, it's all about family. He entered politics because of family now, right? This is another reason Joe Biden entered politics. Family, especially Hunter Biden.
It's all about community. And it really is. That's what got Pete engaged. That's what got him involved. That's what got me involved.
And as you've known, people who you thought that you could rely on sometimes turn on you.
what are you going to do and how will you sustain each other for the attacks that you know are coming your way? I mean, case in point, I know you want to be as bipartisan and reach across the aisle, but as much as you don't want it to happen, you know that the people who want to make hay in Washington are going to try to use your adult son.
Your adult son. He's a grown-ass man. Your adult son.
As a cudgel against you.
Why did the mayor of Moscow's wife give the Bidens, both of them, $3.5 million for them? That's a lot of money.
Because Joe Biden said he got into this politics for family, right? So it's a family business. Brother, sister, son. He got into it for family.
How do you feel about that, and what do you have to say to those people?
She gave him $3.5 million. So now I would think Putin would know the answer to that. I think he should release it. I think we should know that answer.
What's going on with Joe Biden family? Because Joe Biden entered politics because of family.
Hey, pal, it's Dad. It's 8:15 on Wednesday night. If you get a chance, give me a call. Nothing urgent. Just want to talk to you. I thought the article, at least the thing online, that's going to be printed tomorrow in the Times, was good. I think it's clear. And anyway, if you get a chance, give me a call. I love you.
That's what family do. I love you. I love you.
We have great confidence in our son. I am not concerned about any accusations been made against him.
Any accusation? 150 damn suspicious transactions, federal prosecutions, indictments, witnesses, federal tax evasion. Come on, Joe. Smoking crack in a damn rehab, naked.
It's used to get to me. I think it's kind of foul play, but look, it is what it is, and he's a grown man. He is the smartest man I know.
Whoa! Well, you know a lot of dumb motherfuckers. If he's the smartest man you know, he's a grown man. A crackhead is the smartest man he know. Remember, Joe Biden think he is a god. Hunter Biden like, my father think I'm a guy. He'll do anything I say. Well, I guess you would do anything for the smartest man you know.
I mean, in a pure intellectual capacity. And as long as he's good, we're good.
I got involved in politics because of the neighborhood I came from.
Neighborhood he came from. You know what neighborhood he came from, right? Everybody know what neighborhood Joe Biden came from, right? We all know what neighborhood Joe Biden came from. I got into politics because of the neighborhood I came from. Okay, what neighborhood Joe Biden come from?
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys.
A bunch of bad boys. Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. Look at Joe Biden. He down there with no tie on, with his chest hair sticking out, right? He got the blonde hair sticking out his chest and shit. What is Joe Biden doing? He trying to seduce these little kids?
And I did. And back in those days, to show how things have changed, one of the things you had to use, if you used pomade in your hair, you had to wear a bathing cap. And so he was up on the board, wouldn't listen to me. I said, hey, Esther, you, off the board. Or I'll come
Hey, Esther. What the fuck is an Esther? I never heard of an Esther.
up and drag you off. Well, he came off, and he said, I'll meet you outside. My car, these were all public housing behind it.
So that's what Joe Biden learned about the roaches with the public housing, because you know a lot of public housing got roaches. So Joe Biden was in the projects buying dope and messing with kids on the lap.
My car, there was a gate out here. I parked my car outside the gate. And he said, I'll be waiting for you. He was waiting for 3 guys in straight razors.
Joe Biden lied like a son of a bitch. He learned this off of West Side Stories.
Not a joke. There's a guy named Bill Wright, Mouse, the only white guy, and he did all the pools. He was the mechanic. And I said, what am I going to do? He said, come down here in the basement where mechanics, where all the pool filter is. You know?
Joe Biden, no. Well, not the mechanic, where all the pool filter is. He worried about them kids.
The chain, there used to be a chain that went across the deep end. And he cut off a 6-foot length of chain. He folded up, he said, you walk out with that chain.
that nigga cut off a 6-foot piece of chain and you walked out with a 6-foot piece of chain?
And you walk to the car and say, you may cut me, man, but I'm going to wrap this chain around your head. I said, you kidding me? He said, no, if you don't come back. And he was right. So I walked out with the chain. And I walked.
Them kids don't give a fuck what Joe Biden talking about. That wooded candy and the hot dogs y'all promised us. We don't give a fuck what you talking about with no chain and nothing like that. Who you talking to? Them little kids, look, they looking all up. Look, they talking to each other and shit like in the background. Joe Biden still preaching. And then I came out with a chain. And they're like, we don't give a fuck. Where the hot dogs and the candy at? You know what I'm saying? We don't give a fuck about this part of the show. Where the hot dogs you promised us at? God damn it.
Up to my car. And they had, those days, you used to remember the straight razor. You'd bang them on the curb, get them rusty, put them in the rain barrel, get them rusty.
Who the fuck Joe Biden talking to? They not worried about him. This little girl like, Joe Biden stank. Look, like, Joe Biden stank. This little girl, they looking for the candy. She like, I'm tired of this shit. She's like, I'm hungry. She's like, who the fuck? How long this gonna be? What the fuck? You gotta do. Whoa, what's up, Vanessa? How you doing, Vanessa? You hear this shit right here? These little kids don't give a fuck about him, Vanessa. They don't give a fuck about what Joe Biden's talking about. They hungry as a motherfucker. Where the little kid said Joe Biden stank? Where the fuck your food at? Look at her. Look.
But I was.
She got her hand on her nose.
Smart then. I said, first of all, I said, when I tell you get off the board, you get off the board, and I'll kick you out again. But I shouldn't have called you, Esther Williams. I apologize for that. I apologize, but I didn't know that apology.
Look, they're like, I'm tired of this shit. Like, where the food at? Vanessa, where the fucking hot dogs at? Where the hot dogs and the Kool-Aid at?
This is going to work. He said, you apologize to me? I said, I apologize for that, not for throwing you out, but I apologize for what I said.
Look, they come to get their kids. Look, the grown people starting to come like, you know what, I'm tired of this shit. You talking about chains and switchblades and roaches and shit. I'm tired of, get the kids and get the fuck away, right? Look, they tired of Joe Biden. Look, she got a headache. I got a headache. This nigga is fucking with me. I got a headache.
He said, okay, close the straight razor, and my heart began to beat again.
The kids ain't laughing. That's people the kids don't know what the fuck he talking about. That's people in the audience. Ain't their kid laugh. They still looking for the hot dogs. Where the hot dogs, Joe? What the fuck is wrong with you? Everybody looking for the hot dogs and the juice. Ain't never one of them motherfucking kids laugh. They hungry as a motherfucker.
The reason why I got involved in politics, the reason why the president I ran, the president got involved, is the one primary role for government is to protect people.
Protect people. You know, Joe Biden into protecting people. And who Joe Biden protected lately? All women. I want to protect all women. Vote for me so I can protect all women, Vanessa. You got to vote for Joe Biden, Vanessa, so he can protect all women. Yeah, right.
And President Biden is working to protect access to abortion. He signed an executive order to do just that.
Well, what we're witnessing wasn't a constitutional judgment. It was an exercise in raw political power.
President Biden signed an executive order today aimed at protecting the reproductive rights of women. But how effective will it be?
And but the most important thing to be clear about is we have to change. I believe we have to codify Roe v. Wade in the law. And the way to do that is to make sure the Congress votes to do that.
But first, President Biden signed an executive order Friday to protect access to reproductive health care.
Okay, Joe Biden got in the politics. I done lost count, right? I done lost count where he done got for protecting. Now he's into protecting women, protecting gays, protecting transgender, protecting kids, protecting immigrants, right? Protecting everybody but America, protecting Ukraine. Remember, he's in protecting a lot of fucking shit. But right now, his latest protection is abortion. But he got to protect women's rights.
Describe for us, sir, many Americans are grappling with this. What is your sense today about the integrity and the impartiality of the Supreme Court? Should Americans have confidence in the court as an institution?
Hell yeah, America should. Why not? Why Why do they think they speak for all Americans, right? When they say, do Americans have faith? You damn right. It's plenty of people celebrating the decision. Plenty of states, countries, and all kind of shit, right? You just talking about, do we have faith in them? Yes, we do. Why is it Joe Biden don't speak for all America?
And your views on abortion have evolved in your public life. Are you the best messenger to carry this forward when Democrats, many of them, many progressives, want you to do more?
He can't do more. He can't do more.
Got involved because my state was the only state in the union when Dr. King was murdered.
Whoa, he got in the politics again because his state was the only state and wherever where Dr. King was murdered. So now Joe Biden is linked up with Black history, right? He's talking about he was up in the state with Martin Luther King, right? That's why he went for politics. He in the Black history.
That was occupied by the National Guard.
And I'm going to now direct this at Vice President Biden. I do not believe you are a racist. And I agree with you when you commit yourself to the importance of finding common ground.
Well, you don't believe he's a racist, but bitch, I do. He got all the racist profile. If you had a report card or application to be a racist, this nigga would fill out every damn box on the damn test.
But I also believe, and it's personal, and I was actually it was hurtful.
Biden also admits to having been civil with Democratic colleagues who were openly racist, like James Eastland, who had a long history of racist remarks.
Vanessa, you know what he told? You know how he felt about niggas, Vanessa? I'm finna let you know how he felt about niggas, Vanessa, right now. Well, he gonna let you know.
Including the Black Americans belonged to an inferior race.
Woo!
To hear you talk about the reputations of two United States senators who built their reputations and career on the segregation of race in this country.
As well as the segregationist Herman Talmadge, who vigorously opposed school integration.
Governor, this means in effect that your state would set up a private school system. We intend to maintain separate schools in Georgia, one way or another, come what may.
These are all Joe Biden homies. All Joe Biden homies. The racist KK Klan. All the top head members of the motherfucker.
And it was not only that, but you also worked with them to oppose busing.
Biden also developed a decades-long friendship with segregationist Strom Thurmond, who he worked with attempting to pass the Biden-Thurmond Violent Crime Control Act in 1991. Biden also spoke at his funeral.
We became good friends.
Woo! Good friends. He was your mentor. Biden got into politics, right? Because he wanted to hang and change racism with Martin Luther King.
I'm not sure exactly why or how it happened, Nancy, but you know we did.
And, there was a little girl in California who was part of the second class to integrate her public schools. And she was bused to school every day. And that little girl was me.
This day, 30 years ago, Nelson Mandela walked out of prison and entered into discussions about apartheid. I had the great honor of meeting him. I had the great honor of being arrested with our UN ambassador on the streets of Soweto trying to get to see him on Robbins Island.
Lie, liar. Lie right in front of the white people. Got a nigga out there, but you lying in front of all these white people.
You now say you weren't arrested and it didn't happen in Soweto. You were at the airport in Johannesburg and you were stopped from going through the door for blacks. I guess the question is, were you confused or were you just trying to embellish a story?
The confluence of those sort of basic values, the things everybody has to overcome in their life, and what you, in fact, basically liked naturally, all seem to, in retrospect, move me in a direction that got me involved in public issues and public life.
Whoa, got him involved in public issues and public life, right? Well, the same person that called you a racist just a few minutes ago is the same person that's in your White House acting like you're not a racist now, right? So I guess this is your public works and your public relations.
Offered the chance to run with Biden in 2020, Kamala Harris's once scathing criticisms about race faded away, and the two have worked closely since winning the election.
I believe you that you're fully supportive of him. How does that transition happen? How do you go from being such a passionate opponent?
of a racist, right? Who was almost denied being bused to school and getting an education because of the rules he tried to pass, all of a sudden you support him.
On such bedrock principles for you, and now you guys seem to be pals.
It was a debate.
Look, watch how many times she say it was a debate. Vanessa, count them. That's one, right? Let's see how many times she say it was a debate. Remember, this is the first word salad she ever done, right? The first word salad I ever heard Kamala Harris say was a debate. This right here. She said a debate about 10 times in different forms.
Not everybody landed punches like you did, though.
It was a debate.
2.
So you don't mean it.
It was a debate.
3.
That the whole reason, literally, it was a debate.
4.
It was called a debate.
5.
I understand.
Traveled to the debate.
6.
There were journalists there covering the debate.
7.
Where there would be a debate of
8.
differences of opinion and issues. I am 1,000% supportive of Joe Biden, and I will again do everything I can to make sure he is elected.
My political hero.
8 damn debates before she even said a sentence. 8 of them in a row. Is that a word salad for your ass? It was a debate. It was a debate. You had cameras in the debate. It was people there in the debate. You had people asking questions in the debate. Like, what the fuck? We know all of that. We know what a debate is. It was a debate. But I'm 100% supportive for Joe Biden. What? Well, another reason Joe Biden got into politics. Let's roll it.
Got me involved in politics, and there's a lot of great men and the 2 Kennedy brothers.
When I marched in the civil rights movement, I did not march with a 12-point program. I marched with tens of thousands of others to change attitudes. And we changed attitudes.
Y'all changed attitudes. Joe Biden changed attitudes, right? Joe Biden was changing attitudes then, and he changed the attitudes now.
I got my education for real in the black church. And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact.
Like many of you, I participated in sit-ins to desegregate the restaurants and movie houses of Wilmington, Delaware.
Huh? He did. Joe Biden done all of that. Churches, marches, black swimming pools, all that shit.
In October, I was in
voter registration drives, coming out of black churches on Sunday, figuring how we were going to move.
During the 60s, I was, in fact, very concerned about the civil rights movement. I was not an activist.
Wait a minute, Joe Biden. You got to be an activist to go to church and black and hold protests and marches. Ain't that what an activist do? What do you mean I was not an activist? What do you mean, Joe Biden? All this shit you've been telling us for all these years of Mandela and all this old marching in church, you mean you're not an activist? What happened? Thought you got into civil rights because you was an activist.
I came out of the civil rights movement. I was one of those guys that sat in and marched and all that stuff.
Okay.
I was no big shakes, Reverend, in the civil rights movement. I was just a kid. I got involved in desegregated movie theaters and helping, you may remember Reverend Moyer in Delaware and Herman Holloway organized voter registration drives, coming out of black churches on Sunday, figuring how we were going to move.
Oh, so now you back in black churches again. Okay, now he's back in black churches again, y'all. Now he's back in black churches. First he was out of black churches. Now he's back in black churches.
And that's not hyperbole, it's a fact. But I got my education, Reverend Doc, in the black church.
I worked at an all-black swimming pool in the east side of Wilmington, Delaware.
In October, I was invited to the National Civil Rights Museum in Memphis to receive the Freedom Award. A thing when I sat in black churches in the east side of Wilmington getting ready to, and by the way, next to two Jewish rabbis, getting ready to go out and desegregate movie theaters in Delaware.
I was involved. I was involved in what they were thinking, what they were feeling.
But your ass wasn't. But your ass wasn't an activist. I was involved. I was involved with what they was thinking, what I was feeling. We're from home, nigga. I was involved. Yeah, right. I was there, but I was far back as a motherfucker. But I was there.
I never ever thought in my life I would be worthy of, and I'm still not sure I'm worthy of it.
I was involved, but I was not out marching. I was not down in Selma. I was not anywhere else.
You know, when I was a teenager in Delaware, for real, I got involved in the civil rights movement. We have the 8th largest black population in America. Most people don't know that.
I was a suburbanite kid who got a dose of exposure to what was happening to black Americans when I'm in my own city.
And by the way, you know, I sit on the stand.
In his own city, right? And this was happening in his own city back in the days, right? In his own city.
And to get hot, I got hairy legs that turn, turn.
Look, they still not paying attention to Joe Biden. Who the fuck are you talking to, Joe? They there for the hot dogs. Where in the fuck is the hot dogs, Vanessa? Where the fucking hot dogs?
Blonde in the sun.
Culturally, one of those guys who likes to, I don't fit very well with, I'm not a joiner. I don't go out, I'm not very, I was out of sync with. By the time the war movement was at its peak, when I was at Syracuse, I was married.
He said, I'm not a joiner. He said, I wasn't with that black shit. I'm not a joiner. I wasn't with that shit. I'm a loner. By the time the Civil War shit was at, I was married at home having car accidents and shit. Right? What the fuck? I wasn't out marching. Remember, I was a senator having car accidents. I wasn't out at no damn black pools marching, no shit like that. I'm lying.
And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again.
Look, they don't give a fuck. Look, they don't give a fuck, right? They don't give a fuck about no hair coming back up again. Look, this little boy like, you nasty son of a bitch. She like, look, don't ever be alone with this man right here. This little girl still saying Joe Biden stank. Look, he trying to look at the kids. They like, Joe Biden, where the fucking hot dogs at? Who is that? The good pill, the God pill. Moolah is the new retail short squeeze. 2,000% gains incoming in days. Don't miss it. Don't miss it. What is that? S. Moulin? Moulin, baby. What up? Bobby Mayo. Good looking on the donation. Get up. Pittsburgh Rick. What's up with a Pittsburgh Rick coming through? Roaches. Look, all these kids, Pittsburgh Rick and Bobby Mayo and the God Pill, they like, this nigga stank.
I was in law school. I wore sport coats. I was not part of that.
You're like, look, I wasn't with them niggas out there. I was in law school. I was wearing a sports coat. I wasn't with them niggas out there marching that hot ass sun, talking about some freedom and desegregate movies and shit. What do you think I am? He's saying this for the white people. He's taking it like, look, man, I gotta get back to my white side. I'm a strong Thurman. I'm a racist motherfucker. I can't be saying that I was marching with black people against my people. Right? I can't say that. I was not marching. I was not marching against my people. You think I'm finna march with niggas against Strong Thurman and the rest of the Democratic Party? I am the Democratic Party. I'll be marching against my motherfucking self. Huh? Somebody tell me, when have the Democratic Party stopped being racist? Or what year did the Democratic Party and the Republican Party switch races? You know what I'm saying? Was it in the 70s, the 60s, the 80s? When was it? When was it all of a sudden that the Democrats have become the party for the blacks? When? Nigga, they've been fucking they've been fucking the blacks the whole time. Right? They fucked you in the Jim Crow. They fucked you out of slavery. They fucked you with black codes. They fucked you out of voting rights. They fucked you out of Black Wall Street. They've been fucking you for years. They gave your ass the county, separated your family, aborting your babies. The motherfuckers been put you in prison. This nigga right here put motherfuckers in prison for decades. 94 crime bill. The Democratic Party been fucking over the county welfare system, the school system, the policing system. Man, the Democrats been fucking over niggas for years. When have the Democratic Party has not fucked over niggas? Please tell me. Please tell me when the Democratic Party stopped fucking over niggas. I ain't talking about giving free shit, because when you give people free shit, you don't get in them incentive to create and do better and better their situation. When you give them free shit, you make them comfortable. And a lot of black people are comfortable because you give them a lot of free shit. They don't want to work to get out of the situation that they're in because they don't want to lose their benefits. You be living ghetto fabulous with government benefits in certain areas, Section 8 and all of that shit, right? You be living ghetto fabulous for years. It's like hitting the lotto. Huh? But tell me, when have the Democratic Party ever done something for niggas? I'm not talking about free shit. I'm talking about building schools, building colleges, education, right? They just started doing some, they just started passing one of Donald Trump laws about school choice. What's that? In a couple of states, Donald Trump laws is coming in the law. He ain't even president, and his policies is still coming into effect. He ain't even the abortion rights, boom, the gun rights, boom, school choice. Them was all the shit Donald Trump ran on. Guess what? The courts is allowing that shit to go, passing the law, taking the restriction off. You want some money to send your kid to a Catholic school? Huh? You no limit. Send your kid to any motherfucking school you want to. Huh? Trump did that. Not this nigga.
I'm serious.
They look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap.
What y'all don't seem to understand is some of you. I think you understand it. I don't think you're really being, well, I won't characterize it. But, you know, there was a 4-year period there, folks. There's light years.
And I've loved kids jumping on my lap.
Look. He looked at the kid when he said that. Look, this is the only time he looked at the kid when he said, I love, and look. Look how he looking at that little boy, like, and I love kids jumping on my lap. That little boy, like, I am fucked. Look, he looked dead at that boy and grabbed him by the back and said, and I love kids jumping on my lap. He was looking at the whole crowd the whole time with no kids paying attention to him. Then he wanted to catch eye contact with the little black boy and say, look, I love kids jumping on my lap. I look at that little boy like, what the fuck, mama? Come and get me. She ain't paying attention to narratives. She ain't there for the hot dogs. Where the hot dogs, Joe? The motherfuckers don't want to hear the roaches jumping on your lap, little kids jumping on your lap. Right? You giving this kid eye contact, talking about, I love little kids jumping on my lap. This little kid like I'm fucked. This little kid like I'm fucked.
He's jumping on my lap.
Look. Why how you look at
y'all
the
don't
kid?
seem to understand is some of you. I think you understand it. I don't think you're really being, well, I won't characterize it. But, you know, there was a 4-year period there, folks. There's light years.
Look how he look. He's singled a little kid out.
And I've loved kids.
Look.
Kids jumping on my lap.
When I was on the college campus, those of you who go back with me, 1961 to 65, Vietnam was like Nicaragua is now. We all said that's kind of stupid, but it's going to end. But you don't see many people marching on campuses.
What do you have to?
Joe Biden mad. He want to get his racist card back. He like, you know what? I veered off for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Said I was marching with the blacks, but I got to veer back, right? But who was that sent me a donation? Eugene. What's up, Eugene? Good looking out the donation on the PayPal, Eugene. Eugene Norris just sent me a donation on PayPal. Good looking out, Eugene. Eugene. That was one of my favorite names when I used to watch the Penitentiary one when I was a little kid. Eugene was a little box up in there named Eugene. Eugene Flugene. What's up with it? Good look out the donation, right? Donald Trump say, look, I'm the least racist motherfucker in this building. I don't give a fuck who else in his house. I'm the least racist motherfucker in here, especially according to Joe Biden, racist record having ass.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, they were chanting pigs in a blanket, talking about police. Pigs, talking about our police.
One thing about Donald Trump, he ain't never act like he ever been for activists. He ain't never act like he was with any political party like a Black Lives Matter or a KKK or anything like that. He just say, look, man, I'm connected to people, right? And Donald Trump was always connected to people. Mike Tyson, Don King, you know what I'm saying? When what's that nigga Jesse Jackson and the other nigga Al Sharpton was liking him, right? He was connected to people. He wasn't connected to no party. Donald Trump has always been an individual that connected to people. He never really hung in a pack. right? He wasn't a pack motherfucker. He was a businessman. He ain't around this person, that person, that person. He was connected to a lot of people, right? You know what I'm saying? Even Jeffrey Epstein, the Prince, and politicians, and rappers, and TVs. I mean, he was connected to everybody, right? And that's what he do as a businessman, right? So he didn't hang with no group of motherfuckers. Like, he wasn't connected with no party. He never supported no party, like no Black Lives Matter. He never supported people disrespecting the flag. He was about America first. You disrespect America, you disrespecting me. Niggas kneeling on the flag and niggas not saying the pledge of allegiance, niggas not disrespecting the army and the military and shit like that. He wasn't with that, right? He like, you do that shit on your own time. But he with all the rights, he with all the freedom of speech, he with all that. He like, this don't do it and disrespect the flag. Good looking out, Pittsburgh Rick. Bring our real president back, please, and hurry the fuck up.
Pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon. I said, that's a horrible thing. And they were marching down the street. And that was my first glimpse of Black Lives Matter. I thought it was a terrible thing.
Go up to my son's campus in Philadelphia, or go down south, or go out west. It's nothing like the anti-war movement. That's about where Vietnam was in 1963, and 64, and 65.
As far
as this nigga saying, look, he separated himself as far away from black people as he can. This nigga using references and all kind of shit. He building timelines like, look, nigga, I was not marching with niggas. I got a timeline for my shit.
Or as my relationships with all people, I think I have great relationships with all people.
All people, right? No groups. All people. Jewish people, Asian people, other countries. All people.
I am the least racist person in this room.
And look, you're looking at a middle-class guy. I am who I am.
A middle-class guy. Look, remember, what happened to Paul Joe from Stratton? Now you way back in the 70s talking about you looking at a middle-class guy. You bragging about being middle-class. Huh? Joe Biden? What happened to Paul Joe from Stratton?
Well, what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know. I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison reform and opportunity zones. I took care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say. They can say anything. I mean, they can say anything. It makes me sad.
I'm not big on flak jackets and tie-dye shirts and
right. While Donald Trump actually got things done for black people, Joe Biden been saying he been an activist for black people since the 60s. Name one thing he done for the advancement of black people. I'm not talking about helping black people. I'm not talking about black aid. I'm talking about for the advancement. Any policy he put in for the advancement of black people. Not to lock black people up, not to put more police in the community, not to hand a motherfucker a check, not the rescue plan, not to put the Trump juice in the motherfucker system, right? Not extra food stamps, nothing like that, right? Kid poverty, not no eyeglasses, not no diabetes, not no Wi-Fi. No, let me know something you done for the advancement of black people. Donald Trump just gave you a list of shit. In 4 years. And he done most of them in the first 2. And he would have done way more. Right? So prison reform, opportunity zones, funding the black colleges, right? All kind of different shit. For the advancement of black folks, right? It helped out a lot of people, but it helped out a lot of black people more, right? Like when he changed the law, it helped everybody. It wasn't just, okay, we're going to change it for black people. No, Donald Trump went after laws, right, that was more stricter on black people than any other race and made them laws even towards everybody. Something Joe Biden never done. The advancement of black people, right? I was somewhere and I wanted to get this dude on my show. He said he was one of the I got to get you on my show. He was he was at the fish market. I met him at the fish market, right? He was the cellmate with one of the people that Donald Trump got out, and he was out because of Donald Trump. So there's two people I know got out personally for Donald Trump, right? And he was like, man, Donald Trump got my cellie out, and like, man, he got a couple of people out, but like I can't say nothing bad about Donald Trump, right? And it's a lot of people like that, right? The advancement, Donald Trump getting people back out here with their families, got people back out here with their families being productive. What have Joe Biden done in his 47 years for the advancement of black people? Not no busting the schools, not none of that women rights shit, not none of this gay shit. What have he done for the advancement? That's how you can tell what a white supremacist is and who a white supremacist not, right? You can say, well, I heard people say, well, Donald Trump only done it because he only done it because he didn't want to seem racist. He only done it because of this. He only done it because Joe Biden didn't do it at all. Barack Obama didn't do it at all. They could have done the same shit, but they didn't do it at all. Why is that? Right? Joe Biden laws have hurt more black people than helped them. Joe Biden recent laws have left black people behind in education, have left black people behind in bills, work, right? Have left people behind in everyday aspects, right? Even mental aspects. There's a lot of black kids that are mentally fucked up because the depression of not being with regular routine and shit like that. A lot of kids are suffering mentally, right? Because of Joe Biden policies and shit like that, right? A lot of people lost their job, got kicked out the house and forced to. I mean, you got police that was innocent you got to find something on them, right? Joe Biden has done nothing to advance nobody, right? No race, basically, right? That's why the Mexicans turning on them, right? The Latinos turning on. They're like, fuck it, you ain't doing nothing for us. We leaving your party. You ain't done nothing for us. You keep talking about you speaking up for us, calling us Latinx and giving us names and shit like that we don't go by. You keep labeling us, right? And if Joe Biden say black people, Mexicans or Latinos are diverse than black people, and the Latinos left them, right, because they think different, is Joe Biden wrong? It should be way more black people leaving Joe Biden or the Democratic Party than the Mexicans, right? Because Joe Biden policies have hurt black people way more than hurt any motherfucking Latino. But it's the Latinos waking up faster than the black people. Ain't that a bitch? Huh? How is it that for years these motherfuckers done enslaved you, done kept you down, done promised you this, right? Now you've been murdered on every level. From the adulthood to the childhood, right? And all these policies, they sitting back not doing a motherfucking thing about it, defunding the police. You see this shit on camera every day, people beating the shit out of people, stealing shit, businesses closed down, business packing up, leaving, summer of love, shit burning the fucking down. They fucking over black people forever, and the Hispanics have woke up before the black people have. How? They not doing half the shit to the Hispanics as they doing to black people. They not doing half the shit. They not making half the laws that they make for other minorities. They fucking us and y'all letting them. How is it other motherfuckers wake up before we do? How do we want to still stay on a fucking plantation? Have you read Frederick Douglass' book? Do you know what Juneteenth was? The definition of Juneteenth, where motherfucker was free and they didn't know they was free? And you celebrate this shit and you don't know what the fuck it mean? It's about, they let you know Juneteenth was a day when people was free, but they still was enslaved. That should be a symbolism of how your ass in the Democratic Party is right now. Your ass should be free, but your ass still enslaved. Enslaved by education, enslaved by poverty, and they keep on telling you ain't shit. Oh, we're going to make these laws and make these because we need equity because black people ain't shit. That's what he keep on saying. The most left behind community, come on. What about we got black billionaires around this motherfucker. We got a couple of black billionaires around this motherfucker. Kanye West a billionaire. Dr. Dre a billionaire. Robert Smith is a billionaire. Bob Johnson, we got billionaires. What the fuck are you talking about? We got millionaires in the NBA. LeBron James a billionaire. We got billionaires. Millionaires. The fuck are you talking about? We're only 12% of the population, and we're only 5%, and 5% of that is men. And there's a lot of men that's million and billionaires. Just like, come on, don't try to say we fucked up. It's not because we left behind. It's because of the decisions we make. We make decisions to go shoot up the motherfucking store. We make decisions to go rob the motherfucking store. We make decisions not to go to school. We make decisions to stand on the block. That's not nothing about equity. That has something to do with decision making. Help people make better decisions about their life and about their community and about their future, and they wouldn't be out there shooting. If you make them feel like they had a future that they can be a future that they can live, a future that they can be prosperous, a future that they can have a family, maybe they wouldn't be out there like that. But if they figure, I ain't gonna have no family, I ain't gonna grow up, I might die because the niggas out here shooting, I might as well kill or be killed. Right? Mama on drugs, mama okaying it. It's fucked up out here. Right? But Joe Biden and the Democratic Party ain't making it no better. And the black people are still on the fucking plantation. Huh? How long do you think the slave master was telling the slaves, oh yeah, you're gonna be free. Keep on working, you're gonna be free. That's what they telling you. You're gonna get equity. What the fuck is equity? Huh? We're gonna make the middle class broker so they can be broke like you? Because we damn sure ain't gonna make you richer. What the fuck is equity? Giving you free shit so you don't have to work? Taking it from the rich and giving it to the poor? They trying to play Robin Hood now? You know why? They don't want you to be productive. Because if you be productive, you might be enlightened. And if you be enlightened, you might know what the fuck they up to. And if you know what the fuck they up to, they'll lose power. Right? In the land of the blind, the one eye is king. The motherfucker with one eye is king in the land of the blind. You motherfuckers, the land of the blind, these motherfuckers, Democrat is the one eye. The all-seeing eye. And you know what eye I mean. The eye that's on your dollar. The eye the motherfucker been talking about. The eye that's been a secret society for the longest. They the motherfucking eye. And you motherfuckers are blind. They don't need two eyes. They only need one. Because you can't see. Stuck. I was on the fucking plantation. I was on it for the longest, believing in the same shit. Look. If you ever see a Republican that used to be a liberal, he is happy as shit. He ain't complaining no more. He ain't miserable no more. He ain't a victim no more. Because when a liberal, and especially a black liberal, turn Republican, oh my God, it's heaven. It's heaven because now you're not defensive. Now you're more proud of your country than mad at it. Now you want to better your country instead of tearing it down. Now you want to stick to your values instead of making new ones. Now you understand the Constitution instead of trying to destroy it. Now you can reach out to white people and talk to them instead of calling them racist. It's a difference when you become a Republican because it's like a new life. Like, damn, it's like a new life. Because you see shit and you understand shit that you never saw before. So when Joe Biden get on here talking all this, He understands shit and he been through shit. He hasn't because he get right back on here and in the same sentence say, I haven't done none of that. And I never have and I never will. He never done shit for black people in the whole 50 years he been in office.
You know, that's not me.
Abraham Lincoln here is one of the most racist presidents we've had in modern history. He pours fuel on every single racist fire.
And Joe Biden don't? Joe Biden don't fuel the flame on George Floyd, calling him racist, right? Joe Biden didn't run his whole campaign on how racist Donald Trump was, right? Joe Biden didn't call people ultra MAGA and ultra extreme, right? Every school shooting, anything that happened, right, in extremists, he blamed it on MAGA, right? Everything happened with the police, right? He jumped on the black people's side or whatever side that's more social, right? Every single time. The dude who got shot in the back off of whatever name, Brooks, right? They went to his house. George Floyd, every single time flaming the fuse of racism, not as a white supremacist, but as a so-called protector and a activist for black. Everything, voter rights, police, school, everything, the teachers, everything is white supremacist. Donald Trump everything ain't running on no fucking white supremacist. He don't base everything on race. He bases shit on facts. Voter rights, white supremacists. The Trump juice, white supremacists. Everything, white supremacists. Remember, he tried to make a law that black farmers get more money than the white farmers. They had to kill that shit in the Supreme Court. Right? This a bunch of racist shit that Joe Biden tried to do.
Every single one.
I'm serious.
He made a reference to Abraham Lincoln. Where did that come in? I mean,
you said you're Abraham Lincoln.
No, where did that? No.
You said,
I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community.
And I'm saying,
I didn't say I'm Abraham Lincoln. I said not since Abraham Lincoln has anybody done what I've done for the black community. Now, you have done nothing other than the crime bill, which put tens of thousands of black men, mostly, in jail.
And that's the shit that Donald Trump had to stop, had to correct, had to straighten out. So all the things Joe Biden said he ran on, he fucked up. Fucked up in the civil rights, fucked up in the Voter Act, fucked up on the environment, fucked up on his community, fucked up on his family. Everything he touched, he turned into shit. Right? What did Barack Obama do for the black folks? They could have codified way. They had 63 motherfuckers in the House. I mean, they had 63 motherfuckers in Congress. They could have easily codified way. They didn't do it because they don't give a fuck. How long are you gonna let these motherfuckers lie to you? What happened to all that kneeling for the black stuff? What happened to all that shit? What happened to all that fighting for black rights and all? They don't do shit for blacks. Every time a nigga die by the hands of the police, they want to get their ass out and kneel and put their hands up and wear dashikis and shit. What happened to all the dashikis they was wearing? Oh, election time ain't coming. They don't need no motherfucking dashikis no more. Huh? Every time somebody black gets shot, they'll go ahead and, oh man, it's unfair. We gonna march with this. As soon as the tape come out, oh yeah, well, we ain't gonna march no more. The nigga actually ran. The nigga actually shot at the police officer. The nigga actually done with the police. Well, we ain't gonna. They wanted. They want to do all kinds of shit like a dude just got shot. They was riding and marching and shit, talking about, oh, the tape is fucked up. When the tape came out, they saw him running and high-speed chasing, shooting at the police and march over then. They always want to jump to conclusions. Then when the facts come out, oh, Joe Biden still ain't apologized to the border officers. Like I say, it's a damn shame that the Hispanic community done woke up before the blacks. And I'm black, so I'm like trying to wake niggas up every day. Matter of fact, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow, right? I'm going to go out. That's what I'm going to do. I'm finna make me some shirts. And I'm finna go out and I'm going to ask people who more racist, Donald Trump or Joe Biden. And I'm going to have some questions for them. Right? That's the video I'm going to make tomorrow. You hear Vanessa? You hear Tom? Huh? Did you hear what I'm finna do, Pittsburgh Rick? I'm finna make the shirts. Huh? The God Pill Bobby Mayo. Did you hear what I say? I'm finna go make the shirts tomorrow. And it's gonna be on and cracking, Blazer 101. Huh? Christina. I'm finna go and I'm finna make the shirts. So that should be tomorrow's show. I'm finna take my ass to bed early so I can wake up, because it's gonna be niggas out probably Sunday. It's gonna be hot as hell. And if I make some shirts like that and I give them away, I can get about 5 or 6 niggas in a trivia quiz, and we can come back and we can have some fun tomorrow. If not, I'm gonna have another video for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for coming out, and hopefully y'all enjoyed this show. This is all. Oh, and I forgot about Eugene sent a donation too. Don't let me forget about Eugene. You know what I'm saying? Who sent the donation? And let me see this in case. Oh, wait a minute. Jeffrey just sent a nigga a donation. And Tom, what's up, Jeffrey? Ardelli, I had to check that cash out before I got up off here. Good looking out, Jeffrey Ardelli. Jeffrey and Tom, we will never satisfy. I will be back tomorrow. Good looking out on a donation, because y'all the people that keep this channel going. You keep me going, I keep this going. Good looking out, Jeffrey, and everybody else who donated. I'll be back tomorrow. Huh? I'm out. See you later. Time.